Hi, Roger at Wuthering Heights. Looking at the current conditions across the U.S. on this Friday morning, we have a storm system. This is the one we're focusing in on, and its most northern effects will probably catch just across the southern parts of Vermont, but right now it's all rain and producing really precipitation that is going to start becoming mixed in the middle Atlantic states and then turn to snow and then cut across southern New England. Here's the latest water vapor imagery. And you can see the clouds associated with this, and then this narrow band of clearing skies. This is going to be up in our neck of the woods during the day tomorrow, especially across the northern tier areas. We have another weather system, of course, working in tandem, and it's been interesting to watch how two weather systems can just move separately, side by side like that. Something you don't see very often. And one is associated with the southern branch of the jet stream, kind of an El Nino effect. The other one off to the north of us, associated with the polar branch of the northern branch of the jet stream, and this is going to be tracking in unison. Typically, a lot of times these phase together and produce a very large storm, but that's going to happen fairly late in the game. It looks like as it's going to be to our north and east into the Canadian Maritimes. And here's a look at the higher resolution computer modeling on this Friday morning. So through 10 o'clock, there's 11 o'clock, noon, and we start to see the mixture of snow. This is the 32-degree surface temperature, and we have a little bit of snow falling off to the north of us. There has been actually a few flurries earlier on this morning. These are moving on out, but we're anticipating generally dry weather here in between these two weather systems, and that'll continue into the day on Saturday. By Saturday night and Sunday, that gets a little bit more interesting as it pulls in colder Arctic air from our north and west of the Great Lakes. That comes in from Canada, it pulls it through the region. It'll draw it into a developing fairly large circulation at that point with that nor'easter. So what's going to happen is that cold Arctic air is going to come rushing in, that transition happening Saturday night into the morning hours on Sunday, and then we're setting up for another Arctic chill the rest of the early to mid part of next week before temperatures begin to moderate upward. This is the more trusted computer modeling here. You can see that weather system in the Gulf coastal region tracks to the north and east toward the middle Atlantic coast, develops into a fairly significant area of low pressure, tracking south of New England and off of Cape Cod, and then into the Gulf of Maine. You notice the northernmost portion of its precipitation shield just cutting across portions of northern Vermont, and temperatures will be very close to 32 degrees. Not really anticipating much in the way of accumulation, except right about down around Brattleboro. They could pick up something like 2 to 3 inches of snow. That happening roughly at the maximum about midday on Saturday. Then this whole weather system is out of here. It develops and becomes a larger circulation and drags in this Arctic front, which will then produce some snow showers and maybe some snow squalls, and a little more of a dicey travel scenario. And as it does, the gradient winds on the backside are pretty strong, but that trough moves on through that Arctic front, and then we'll see that area of higher pressure north of the Great Lakes begin to work in, and that will be the main feed of cold Arctic air setting up across New England. This 0-degree isotherm line here you can see is some pretty cold temperatures, and this is valid. Well, that'll even happen on looks like Monday evening, and then that Arctic air will eventually moderate out. Area of higher pressure and control, some quiet weather for a good portion of next week. No utility threats as seen right now, and really not that many travel problems. Just a lot of cold temperatures, especially at night. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.